Welcome, everyone. Perhaps you have heard a little bit about Ayurveda from some other course that you've taken or training that you've had, whether in a yoga teacher training program or elsewhere in a nutrition program or herbal program, and you were intrigued by it, by its holistic completely holistic model of the body, or that something about it seemed just simply attractive. I think Ayurveda is very beautiful, and some people come to it just because it of its natural beauty. Whatever the case, you're here today. Maybe you had some Ayurvedic food, or maybe you've even tried some of the recipes on Joyful Belly, and its way of eating seemed somehow both tasty and good for you, as if those two things are naturally go together, and I think they do go naturally together in Ayurveda. Being tasty and being healthy are not mutually exclusive in Ayurveda, but naturally together. Again, whatever the reason that brought you to Ayurveda, you're here today considering studying Ayurveda more deeply, getting to know it on a profound level, so that you can use it not just for yourself, but to understand others and to help them. And I think Ayurveda does offer a great depth of insight into the person, both on a psychological level, all the way through to a physical level. It's a wonderful thing to be able to interact with people and um, and take advantage of that extra depth of understanding into a person's constitution that Ayurveda offers. I think if everybody had that skill, we would all be closer together in many ways. So yeah, I think Ayurveda offers some exciting possibilities, and probably that's why you're here. My name is John Immel. I'm the director of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda, and and I for we've been teaching people about Ayurveda and certifying them in Ayurveda since 2008, over 15 years, and that is an exciting and wonderful opportunity that we have to bring Ayurveda to the American public. I can remember when I was a student just being so thrilled by the opportunity to study Ayurveda. All right, here's some quotes from our students and what they say, and then we'll jump in to in the format of today's discussion, we'll jump into why study Ayurveda, our certification courses, and details about the courses in that order. So from our students, I feel like I'm bursting with bodily awakening. My skin is more vibrant than ever. This is so powerful. At this time of year, I want to share my gratitude for being a part of this transformative education. Ayurveda truly offers a new beginning. And I think that everyone who goes into our courses will see that kind of um, exclamation around bodily awakening. It really is a window into into the inner, a whole new, different window into the inner workings of the body, and how to interpret them. All right, this from a student in Ohio. I am thankful and grateful for you and the creation of Joyful Belly and the MID program. This is our digestive course. You have a stellar group of teachers, yourself included, and I feel truly blessed to have been led down this path as part of my journey. You'll see we spend a lot of time focused on good teaching in this course, not just knowledge of Ayurveda, but communication of that knowledge in a way that is practical and accessible to everyone, without any loss of fidelity, right? That we what is the mark of a great intellectual? Not that they can understand something, but that they can give that understanding to others. And that is rare. That is a rare skill. Someone who can both comprehend and communicate is two skills that are required to be a great teacher. All right. As far as the course, it has been an eye-opening experience for me as a pediatric gastroenterologist. There is so much I have been doing as an allopathic physician for the past 22 years and wished that I had stepped into Ayurveda sooner. It's not too late, however, as I grasp the Ayurvedic concept, understanding why, how, and what should be done has become easier, and I'm enjoying that very much. Thank you. And that is and this, I think that it's important, and that's the reason why I put this testimony here from one of our students, is that Ayurveda works wonderfully well with Western medicine, not in opposition to it. So many people come to Ayurveda disenchanted with Western medicine, and I think Ayurveda has and offers a lot that can fulfill that person who's been disenchanted. But everyone should know that what you learn here won't oppose Western medicine, but improve it, and that we are improved by many of the insights from Western medicine as well, while still feeling free to disagree in some areas. But by and large, Ayurveda adds to adds to Western medicine, and Western medicine adds to us. All right, let's just jump right into a basic overview of the course offerings we have. So the fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine. This is the course to start with, generally, for people, and it's a 2-year program. Don't let anyone convince you that it can be done in less than 2 years and still really understand Ayurveda. It can't be done in less than that amount of time. This is an in-depth program. It says fundamentals, not because it only covers the basics, but because it is everything, right? It is all of the fundamentals, everything you need to know in order to on all of the areas of Ayurveda's theory to be a to assess and understand your clients and offer basic lifestyle remedies. And you'll see we'll supplement this course with a course in herbalism and Poncha Karma. We'll get to that in just a minute. But this is where you get all of Ayurveda's theory and approach to health, disease, and imbalance. And that is the subject of our first year of study. And in the second year of study, you learn to assess individual clients and restore health with 95 clinical encounters, right? So year 1 is theory. Year 2, we're going to apply that theory to assessment. So in year 2, you'll learn things like how to assess the imbalances of a person by looking at their face, by taking their pulse, by looking at their tongue, by analyzing their stool, their urine, their eyes, all the different diagnostic tools. Once you know the theory, you're ready to apply that theory to understand Ayurveda's diagnostic tools, to understand diseases in different areas of the body, such as ear, nose, throat, and also to work with clients during pregnancy, including preparation for pregnancy and fertility enhancement, to pregnancy, to postpartum care, and then pediatrics, right? So we will go through the application of the theory in year 2, and we'll learn all of the theory in year 1. There are 3 live coaching calls a week that are scattered in time so that students from every time zone can attend at least one of those coaching calls per week. Okay. I said earlier, and I'll say it again here, that in the fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine, you learn to see the whole person, mentally, emotionally, physically. Now, I won't say that we offer you a degree in human psychology. That would be a whole nother course, a whole nother program. But the basic mental constitution, emotional constitution of your client, and an in-depth understanding of their physical constitution is within your scope of practice as an Ayurveda health counselor. Okay? We present everything in the course in a way that makes common sense. I said this before, that's the goal of a great intellectual. Not that we can use fancy vocabulary. That's too easy, right? It's easy. Hopefully your teacher understands all the vocabulary and can, sound very complicated. It's the expert teacher that can make it simple. And so we focus, and Joyful Belly has always had this focus. You can look at the thousands of articles that we have contributed to the Ayurvedic profession on the Joyful Belly website. You can see that all of those are presented in a way that is accessible and experiential. Not that there aren't some difficult concepts. There are some, but by and large, I do believe Ayurveda is accessible, even despite its profoundness. Okay, so you will learn to be confident in the methods and techniques, not just because you've learned them, because you've used them. In the course, you will use the techniques. All right, so that's the first course, the fundamentals of Ayurveda, a 2-year program. All of our programs, by the way, are entirely online. No travel is required in any of our courses. And as you see, we do emphasize the experiential component of all of our courses, and you'll see how we do that in an online program. All right, Ayurvedic. The next course is the Ayurvedic herbalist course. This course is typically taken after the 2-year course, and it is natural for people, after they study all of the theory of Ayurveda and the application of it in understanding a person's whole constitution, it's natural that they will start to get more specific. And that is what herbs offer. Herbs are more nuanced and specific than food. And also, the Ayurveda health counselor is going to want to deepen their understanding of disease. And so that is exactly what this course teaches. Not only a broad range of Ayurvedic and Western herbs, including 125 herbs and formulations from the Ayurveda pharmacopoeia, but also about that same number from the Western herbal pharmacopoeia. And by the way, the Western herbs, what we call Western herbs, it's not really Western at all. It should really be called world herbs, because at this point, Western herbalism is pretty much the herbs that have become popular around the world, and then Ayurveda is all of the herbs that might be popular in India. What we need is a name for the herbs that are popular in the United States, as apart from Western herbalism. But generally, the Western herbs are the herbs that are perhaps the misnomer, but the current name used for all of the most commonly used herbs around the world. So we will present Ayurveda's herbal pharmacopoeia and Western pharmacopoeia through the Ayurvedic lens, so that you will know how to use these common, very accessible, less expensive herbs through using the Ayurvedic lens and treatment strategies. Okay, we'll discuss a few Chinese herbs, but only those that have really made their way into the Western herbal pharmacopoeia. But we will discuss Chinese herbal treatment strategies simply because I think that Chinese medicine and Ayurveda together is a real powerful way to study herbs. Okay, so people will graduate from the 2-year fundamentals course, jump into the Ayurvedic herbalist course, and this is a tremendous leap forward in your clinical skills. There's really no other course really comes close to the level of depth offered in this course from the Chinese and West and Ayurveda and Western therapeutics, combining those together. There's really it's a really unique offering, and in this course we will study herbalism the way it was actually developed. And what do I mean by saying we will study herbalism the way it was actually developed? Really, Ayurveda is natural, right? And by that, I don't mean natural as in out in the woods, but I mean that Ayurveda looks at the nature of things, right? It looks at your nature, the nature of the herb, the nature of the disease, and it attempts to interpret that nature and offer treatment to rebalance a person's nature. So herbalism, when it was originally studied, it wasn't done through a study of biochemistry, but instead it was done through people's experience, their 5 senses, and this and interpreting and getting good at interpreting the nature of things rather than the biochemistry. So in this course, when we study herbalism, we will study it from that nature of the herb perspective that Ayurveda is so good at. And that will give a very natural humanistic approach to herbs that I think lends itself to understanding and using them with a in a much more accurate way. In fact, the way that you will use herbs in this program will make them more powerful and more individualized. You will use them you will tailor them to the individuals in a more expert way that increases the effectiveness of the herb. And I think that's exciting. So this course in Ayurvedic herbalism is intense, but it's intensely rewarding. And it is for serious clinicians. Our Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition course is a specialization course that focuses only on Ayurvedic digestion and nutrition. And in this course, it's a 1-year course. The herbalism course is a 1-year course as well. Both of those courses are 1-year courses. And this is to elevate your knowledge and expertise in digestive health and food to a level of mastery. That is our goal. It is the Ayurveda equivalent of a gastroenterologist. Like our conversation before today's call started, one of the prospective students said that they came to Ayurveda out of a need from digestive issues. That's how I came to Ayurveda as well. I had spent over 10 years studying the Bengali language, a South Asian language that is quite similar to Sanskrit and the ancient Ayurvedic Sanskrit. And I lived in Bangladesh for a year and was working on a public health project there. And I just got very sick. And naturally, I assumed that that the medicines of that region would be best to heal my digestive tract. And that's how I originally got interested in Ayurveda. And that was, and I did heal myself through Ayurveda. It was great. It was amazing. And I became very passionate about it. And hence you see that we offer um, not only a whole, website with lots and lots of great information about Ayurveda on it, but also these courses to help others go deep. All right, so this is the Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition course. In this course, you will gain in-depth understanding of how to use food as medicine, the pharmacology of food and herbs, especially as it relates to the digestive tract. Okay, and then finally, our Ayurveda Spa and Pancha Karma Cleanse course. So the fundamentals of Ayurvedic medicine was the first 2 years. The Ayurveda herbalist course would be year 3, and the Ayurveda Pancha Karma Spa and Pancha Karma Cleansing course is year 4. That is our most advanced clinical training and mentoring. It's sort of at the postgraduate level. Pancha Karma Cleansing is, to be frank, it's amazing and wonderful, but it can be a bit dangerous if it's done incorrectly. And so by the time the student is in their 4th year of study, they really do have the level of understanding that and preparation to start Pancha Karma cleansing. And that includes assessment, preparation for Pancha Karma, the Pancha Karma cleanse itself, and then post Pancha Karma care. So this course is a 2-year part-time course, about 5 hours a week. And we specifically designed this course so that you can maintain your clinical practice while you study. And in this course, we study Pancha Karma cleansing, Marma point therapy, spa therapies, nutraceuticals, which is important that you understand the basic nutraceuticals because your clients will be taking them, and modern medical testing. So how to read blood tests and stool tests and all of that. All right, so those are our 4 courses at different levels for students who want both the Ayurveda health counselor level training and Ayurveda practitioner level training. So once you graduate from the Pancha Karma cleanse course, then you gain your Ayurveda practitioner level certification. The 2-year Ayurveda health counselor course gives you your Ayurveda health counselor level certification. All right. That's an overview of our courses. What will you gain from the course? You will gain, 1, the ability to see the whole person and understand their constitution, assessing their imbalances, and also being able to understand how the disease progressed in their body from the root cause to the effects, and specifically identifying intervention points where herbs, diet, and lifestyle are helpful. And each year of study, you increase your level of knowledge of individual disorders. Our school is clinically focused, and you will see that many schools present Ayurveda in a somewhat mystical way. And I think it's because those schools are amazed at Ayurveda and the possibilities it offers. And so naturally, they want to present it in a mystical way that increases our wonder in it. And I think that is, I think that's really powerful, right? To have that sense of wonder and amazement. But also, it is very important that students have a practical understanding of Ayurveda as well. And so we aim to present that wonder of Ayurveda in a way that that students can understand, apply, and use, and that it actually improves clinical outcomes. So we will seek to develop your insight and intuition, right? Intuition is an important part of Ayurveda, but it needs to be developed. It is knowledge that in the end leads to intuition, right? It's our detailed knowledge, a clear, rational approach, and our common sense that come together to create insight and intuition that you will have internalized Ayurveda's approaches and methods. It's actually, once you study Ayurveda, it's a bit like riding a bicycle. You can't unlearn it. It's like you see it everywhere. And once you you have that vision, you have it forever. And that is the kind of intuition that I mean. Our school is an immersion style school where you study experience and apply it. Now, our courses are challenging. You might get that sense that our courses are challenging. And some students will ask themselves the question, like, can I do this? And here's what I'll say is that we really reach out to leaders, right? People who are smart, who are who are active and doing things. And so we know you're busy. We know that our students are busy and people who are engaged in their lives. Maybe they are a mom, a spouse, and have a thriving career, or or that, or in just in some way, our students tend to be quite passionate, and so they have a lot going on. And all I'm going to say on this is that we cater to you, like that you are that person we are looking for. So obviously we don't want to provide you with a course that has anything missing or is less than great, right? But we know that you have time constraints, and we can work with you on that. So if you're that person that I'm speaking to right there is like, okay, do I have about time, or can I accomplish this or whatever? I'm just gonna say that um you're the person we're looking for, not the person that we're, you know, that it's like a challenge to accommodate or anything like that. No, we are, um, we are targeting you. Okay. All right. So I see in the chat here, Dr. Chanel asked, does the spa course require licensure in other fields? It does not. If you, massage is a part of Pancha Karma, and if you're going to do massage, you would need a license to do it. But the course itself doesn't teach massage. Ayurveda, it doesn't teach massage. It is that is the Ayurveda classical texts have like 2 sentences referencing the utility of massage. But so that's something that you would, if you want a massage degree and do the massage yourself instead of working with a masseuse to do that part of the Panchakarma process, then you would need to get a massage license. And but Ayurvedic massage is, can if a person has a massage license, Ayurveda massage itself can be taught in like a paragraph or two. There's not a specific way of doing Ayurveda massage other than you tend to use long strokes and um, with uh, with some attention to the joints as well. Okay. Yes, we will teach you Shirodhara. We will teach you Marma points. I don't know what you mean by Veda touch work. If you want to explain that, let me know what you're referring to there. But Marma points, which are basically Ayurveda acupressure style points. And yeah, and you will learn Shirodhara. And in massage, we'll teach you like what massage oils to use and all that, but you don't need to We don't need to require you to massage someone in order to teach you the Ayurveda herbal formulas for massage and when to apply one or the other. Okay, great. And I see other questions in here. Do you have to take outside certification exams after the health counselor programs? That's a great question. And I see someone's asking about Ayurveda yoga therapy. Good. I'm gonna answer all those questions as we go through the presentation or at the end. So that way I can keep moving past this part of the presentation, and we'll get to some of those specifics. Okay. But thank you for those questions. All right, you'll learn how to work with clients. You'll learn how to apply practical knowledge of the body, diet, lifestyle, and herbs, accurately assessing disease and disorders from the Ayurveda perspective. Right? We're not going to give you a license to diagnose Western medical diseases that would encroach on the scope of practice of a medical doctor, but we will be assessing those disease states from the Ayurvedic point of view. All right. I want to point you to this page on the Joyful Belly website. If you click on Study Ayurveda, you can see about the school, and you can see all of the features that we offer that I believe set our school apart from other schools. But take a look and see the level of support and service that we offer to our students. People come to study Ayurveda because they know that that the natural way is the best foundation for health. That's why I think I would be echoing the sentiments of many students that it's Ayurveda's naturalness that we believe is the best foundation for health, and we want to have that foundation, and then perhaps we'll think about becoming a Western surgeon, or or we might think about other licensures, but we really want to make sure we start in the right place, which is a good foundation, a natural understanding of the body, a holistic, wholesome approach to health. So I think that most Ayurveda practitioners come to Ayurveda because they believe in that natural way, and that they want its wholesomeness, and they find meaning and generosity in offering Ayurveda to their communities. The greatest minds of all times applied their talent to medicine. And so everyone here today is part of something of some greater tradition, right? Of something that has intrigued and that has intrigued humans since ancient times. That something we've wrestled with, something we've deeply desired, how to improve the quality of life for our loved ones and for humanity as a whole. So it is a noble pursuit and a humanistic profession. I have never met an Ayurveda practitioner who regretted studying Ayurveda. Right? I know people who've regretted, becoming an accountant, or who've regretted even becoming a medical doctor. But I have yet to meet a person who regrets studying Ayurveda. I think that every practitioner I have met 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, they still love it. Now, many people want to study Ayurveda but postpone it because of time or finances. But I can say over and over again, will your availability and financial situation really be different in, next year as opposed to this year? Does it really change? Here's what I'm going to say is that for less than the grocery bill each month, you can get an Ayurveda education, and If you're waiting for something to change in your life, I'm just going to say Ayurveda is the change, right? I do know many people who regret not studying Ayurveda and delaying it year after year, hoping things will change. I think Ayurveda is that change. Okay. What about Ayurveda as a career choice? First, I'm going to say that health and wellness is a $1 trillion industry. There's lots of opportunity in health and wellness. Even in as of 2011, total global expenditures for alternative health and wellness outpaced global expenditures for Western medicine, and I think that just is simply a testimony to what kind of medicine most of the world uses. And so there's lots of opportunity in the health and wellness space. Ayurveda continues to grow rapidly in popularity, and but the student is still going to ask themselves, what does it take to lead that trend? And I'm going to say there's no easy shortcuts, right? If you want to be on the leading edge of that trend towards health and wellness, um, you want to study at a great school. You want to study at a school that is going to give you an in-depth, practical clinical understanding alongside Ayurveda's art and intuition. And that is going to make you truly effective and attractive in your community because of your effectiveness. So study, understand, apply yourself, and you will get there. I think all it takes is passion for Ayurveda, and that will lead you to um, grasping all of its concepts and in an in-depth way. Okay? So I want to give you a sense of how to think about Ayurveda as a career option. And in this and in so doing, correct a problem or a curiosity or a wonder that you might have before you even sign up. And this is the issue of how do you promote yourself or promote your credentials, or how will you get yourself out there, or how will people know about your practice, right? Any Western medical doctor who wants to start their own practice has to answer these questions too. This is what I'm about to say is not unique to Ayurveda, but is a basic way of approaching offering medicine to the public. Okay. What most people, when they sign up for an Ayurveda course and then they go through the course and they graduate, and then they're like, I am so excited about Ayurveda, I'm going to create an Ayurveda clinic, right? And if they think about their the way that they promote Ayurveda in those terms, they're in a sense, and this is a danger. They're in a sense thinking about what they like and their interests and themselves, right? But business or opening up a clinical practice is always about paying attention to the client and what does the client need, right? So clients who wake up in the morning with a stomach ache, what they want is a solution to their stomach problem. And then they're going to look for a solution to their stomach problem. They might Google natural practitioners in their area or natural remedies for a stomach problem. And so when you are thinking about creating your practice, you really want to center it around the kind of problems that your client has. So don't ask yourself, what's the business opportunity for Ayurveda in my small town? What you want to ask yourself is, what's the business opportunity for helping people with diabetes in my hometown, or helping people using natural methods for back pain in my hometown? If you ask the question in that way, you come to realize Ayurveda is a tool to help people with back pain or diabetes. But what your client is concerned with is not so much Ayurveda, but diabetes or back pain. And so right then and there, if you get nothing else from today's call, right, that is what I want to leave you with is a kind of vision for how you would bring a service to your local community. Because in a sense, you know that Ayurveda is the service and the amazing tool that you're bringing to your community. But the client first gets interested and learns about you because you address a need that they have, their diabetes or back pain. Okay? So compare these two business plans. Just think about them. All right, this is an actual example from students that were interested in our programs, and so for student number one, like, I've always dreamed of starting an Ayurveda practice, and I've talked it over with my husband, and as soon as I graduate, I'm going to rent an office space downtown, and I am going to create a beautiful sign that's Ayurveda Wellness Center, and it's going to be a beautiful space where people can feel at peace and relaxed as we do consultations. Okay, this is business plan number one. Okay, now let's contrast this with business plan number two. This is an actual example. Well, I've been working in the construction industry for 25 years and I'm ready for a career change. So what I want to do is help construction workers who have arthritis and also who have problems with addiction, because there's a lot of addiction in construction industry. And I want to help in those two areas. Now, because I've gone on Google and done some research, I can see that within an hour drive radius of where I live, there are 3,000 small construction companies providing services to um, to the construction industry. And a lot of these construction workers consume the following local media, or visit the following venues, and I think that that I can reach out to some of the major construction firms in our area and give them a presentation on how to improve the performance, the day-to-day performance of their teams through some basic health tips, and see if I can get some of those companies to allow me to give a presentation to their workers. And I'm going to publish a newsletter for them as well that they can sign up for. And so with that, if I can get a 10% following from those 3,000 construction workers, that will give me 300 clients who I might be seeing, each of those clients once every 3 years. And in addition to providing a year-long health package for them to get started. And, if I sum up all the numbers, I can see I can make $70,000 a year, using and addressing these kinds of issues, right? So you could see that business plan number one is really about the practitioner living the kind of lifestyle that they want to live. And business plan number two is addressing a need in the community. And so, I invite you to think about how you would, what kinds of health needs you would like to solve and what kinds of communities you would like to help in your area, as you think about your Ayurveda career plan. Now, in the course, we will help you with this process. So you don't need to answer those questions before you sign up. But I wanted to make sure that you even have a way to think about it, right? Because when that person with the successful business plan goes to their spouse or their or their parents or other advisors that they might have, everyone's going to feel a lot more confident in their vision, and they'll get behind you and be excited for you to study and develop a passion of yours. Now, I'm going to put this link in the chat. It is a little article here that will walk you through developing a career plan, and I think that will just really help you have a concrete vision for this big question that students tend to have is, how am I going to use this to develop my practice later? By the way, all of our students are in practice by the time they graduate. In other words, in order to graduate, each student goes through our career training, and they actually we give every student an online clinic that they can customize for their particular community and focus and specialization. You can use that online clinic, and you will use it as part of the course to start getting your clients. And on the day that you graduate, you'll develop all your marketing materials, everything as a part of the course. And on the day you graduate, you will simply continue doing what you were doing the day before you graduated. So it's not like you start your practice after you graduate. You are already running your practice in order to graduate. Okay. Yeah, the fundamentals of Ayurveda 2-year course is the one that really includes the sort of soup to nuts business training. All the courses you can get your online clinic, and you will begin using it. But it's really the fundamentals course that walks you through that step by step. We assume that practitioners in the herbalist course and the Poncha Karma course will already have their practice and are up and running. And the digestion course is also the same. That a prerequisite for entry into that course is that you have some prior background in health services. Okay, about licensing. And this addressing the question about taking outside certification exams. Ayurveda is unregulated. It's an unlicensed profession in the USA and Canada. That means you can legally see clients immediately after graduating. So licensing doesn't make a profession legal. Actually, licensing makes a profession illegal for everybody else, right? And so Ayurveda being an unlicensed profession, it is not regulated. So you don't have to pass any board exam or additional certification. There's no one not a single employer that I know of in the Ayurveda profession really looks at your membership in any kind of Ayurveda club as the sign that you are a competent practitioner. So that's not required. You don't need a license, and you don't need a board exam, but we do need a license. In fact, we're required by law to have a school license, meaning that we have to pass a yearly state audit in order to be a school in the state of North Carolina. And in fact, that's really the only credential that matters when you're choosing a school. The state audits us, but none of the so-called Ayurveda associations or clubs conduct audits, and none of them offer any kind of assurance that the Ayurveda education you're getting is competent. I would say that that your level of training at Joyful Belly will far surpass any kind of board exam that you could possibly take. We are again, our goal is that you will be a successful clinician, not merely pass one of these board exams, but every one of our students should pass this any kind of board exam that you can find with flying colors. All right, there's our license, our proprietary school license from the state of North Carolina. In fact, I've got to submit the renewal application in the next 3 days because every year we have to do it. We spend a lot. It takes a lot of money to get licensed, and we have to pass an audit every year. We are accredited by the American Association of Biocharacteristics Clinicians, however, and also by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, and by the National Association of Ayurveda Schools and Colleges, and we're also certified by APNA. But I'm going to say, none of these organizations conduct any kind of audit or really offer any kind of assurance. The main thing that I think is relevant and that you want to know is that we are licensed by the state of North Carolina, which means the state of North Carolina has given their stamp of approval that we are following best practices as a school and have a level of organization that really makes us a college. Okay. All right. So you can register with AABC after you graduate if you'd like. You can register with AADP as a health coach. You can register as an Ayurveda food consultant with APNA or an Ayurveda health counselor with APNA. But membership in all of those associations is optional, not required. You could start your practice the day you graduate. In fact, you'll be starting it before you graduate. There you go. Okay. Sarah's asking, she says, I have an applied science degree in integrative health and a practicing esthetician of 18 years and an intermediate understanding of Ayurveda. I would focus on skin. Can I skip the first fundamentals and go into herbs and Pancha Karma? And I will say this, Sarah, we're not in the business of holding anyone back, right? When I was a student at Harvard University in their mathematics and computer science department, my advisor warned me not to take the computer theory course in freshman year, but I told him, thank you very much, I am going to take that course. And every single year thereafter, my advisor advised me against taking the courses I was going to take, and I took them anyway. And I can tell you that the first year was a little bit brutal, and it was a tough go. I did poorly in that computer theory course for like the most of the semester, but in the end, I was absolutely and 100% determined to do well, and I night and day poured over those computer theory books, taught myself some mathematical proofing techniques that I did not know, and just gave it every single thing I had. I passed the final with an A. The professor of the course saw that I had achieved that level of understanding, wiped away all my previous grades, and then I was ahead of all of my peers for the other 4 years at the university. And by the time I was a junior, I was asked to be a teaching fellow for people who were in the same grade as me, taking the junior level courses, and I excelled. And so just like my advisor did not hold me back, I will not hold anyone back. But I will say that you don't want to shortchange yourself, right? But if you understand it, Ayurveda, you understand all the concepts, and you are confident, go for it. Go for it. Don't let me stand in your way. Okay. I see Simmerjeet is on the call here, and she is an enrollment advisor for Joyful Belly and can answer any questions. She is telling you to send a text message or call her at 828-307-3281. Thank you, Simmerjeet, for being here. All right, great. What's unique about our courses? We will show you how to be a teacher of health, how to present and teach Ayurveda. Remember that what makes Ayurveda different than, say, um, Western medicine or even Chinese medicine? You know, when you go to a Chinese medical practitioner, they don't teach you how to stick needles in yourself at home, right? You don't like learn to do acupuncture. Or the Western medical doctor doesn't teach you about your condition. They give you a drug, you know, that will fix it for you. But as Ayurveda practitioners, we teach our clients how to live better lives. And so you're going to need to be a teacher in order to be a practitioner. And so teaching is an essential skill in Ayurveda. And that is why we focus on great teaching among our staff so that we can, so that you can be a great communicator of Ayurveda after you graduate. Right? We teach our teachers good pedagogy. We're the only school we know of that teaches our teachers good pedagogy. My whole life, I have been a passionate teacher in one capacity or another. I have already mentioned that by the time I was a junior in Harvard, my professors asked me to be a teaching fellow for the courses that other people at my grade level were taking at the university. And I continued to teach with Harvard after I graduated and for the rest of my adult life. So hopefully hopefully just even by today's discussion, you know, you've learned a thing or two about the Ayurveda path or career path, and that, you know, you have a feeling that I might, you know, have an ability to teach you Ayurveda. Okay. I try, you know, I think it is very important that you choose an Ayurveda school that has clear thinking, academic excellence, and a practical mindset. You really want to know that the director of your school is a great student themselves. Okay. Learning Ayurveda can be like drinking from a fire hose at times. So you're going to feel like, you know, it's like a lot coming at you. It's just, that's just the way every new Ayurveda student feels. So when that happens, don't worry about it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that what you are learning. It's all going to make sense and, and come together. All right. Good. I've told you a little bit about this already. I started as a mathematician at Harvard because math to me was art. You know, it was not art in this. It was. I thought it would reveal the deeper truths of the universe, and I think math, you know, does grasp a part of the deeper truths or prepares you to grasp those. But of course, ultimately, you know, in my, you know, desire for to understand that the deeper questions of life, I had to pursue something more humanistic than just math, right? All the deepest meaning doesn't come from math, but it comes from the heart. And so, you know, I took all those math skills and, you know, used them to study Ayurveda's model for the body and apply that sort of keen analytical insight to that more artistic, humanistic approach um, to the body and health. And I think that has given me, you know, I think that prior training has given me a kind of clarity in addition to Ayurveda giving those artistic, humanistic skills. Our student body is made up of nurse practitioners, yoga teachers, individuals who want to become healers, estheticians, spa owners, dermatologists, medical doctors, functional medicine practitioners, mental health and social workers, Ayurveda practitioners who want to continue their education, and anyone who's really enthusiastic about Ayurveda. Passion is, in the end, all you need. After graduating, students start a private clinical practice, or they integrate Ayurveda into their yoga classes, yoga retreats, or at a yoga studio, or they teach Ayurveda at a hospital, spa, university, or to corporations, people who work for corporations. Uh, Ayurveda graduates can go on to cook healthy food at a cafe, start an Ayurveda restaurant. Or in one case, we had a student go on to become a celebrity chef. She worked at a yacht for a celebrity and would cook healthy food for everyone who was visiting this famous person's yacht. Our graduates have written books and created movies about Ayurveda. Some of them offer diet and lifestyle counseling in an integrative clinic. Others offer Ayurveda in their mental health clinic. Any situation where you are taking care of others, including children, is, Ayurveda can be a part of your life and your service. We have students that take the course simply to heal their families, and it's worth it. Again, for less than the grocery bill each month, by the end of the year, you can have health skills that will greatly lower your medical bills, improve your quality of life and happiness for the rest of your life. I think it's a very compelling value proposition. All right. We've discussed what courses we offer and why become an Ayurveda practitioner, and can you do it as a career, and some of the unique qualities of our school, that we focus on great teaching, that um, we bring the analytical and the intuitive together, that we have a practical clinical focus, and that we provide you with business training. In addition to, we'll provide you with all kinds of tools that um, and technology that will just make you efficient and great as a practitioner. Um, but now let's just talk about the breakdown of the courses a bit. The Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine is the 2-year course. That is 180 pre-recorded presentations that you will listen to over a 2-year period. And you can bet that a lot went into the production of those. A team of Ayurveda practitioners, led by myself, but not only me, right? That it's not just that you're learning Ayurveda from John, but from our team of people, and working together to bring a comprehensive Ayurveda um, education to you. And we spent over over 10,000 hours putting together those pre-recorded presentations. So a really amazing work. Each week you will get 3 of those presentations and active learning exercises to go with them, right? We use active learning methods to make sure that our students are engaging with the material. Then we have 3 live reviews a week that review those presentations and the results from the exercises. So in other words, each concept, you will get the presentation, do the active learning exercises, and then we will review in class as a group what the students' results in the exercises and any questions they've had, etc. So what you see is that in our live classes, we maximize discussion with the teacher. And in the presentations, we instead of it just being the work of one teacher, which is the typical way a presentation is handled, it is the work of a team who focused on it and put together something of high quality, not a teacher who is reviewing their notes a half an hour before class and then delivering you a presentation that's just regurgitated, you might say, right? But our classes are dynamic live discussions. So you maximize interaction with the teacher, and the pre-recorded presentations were works by a team. All right, each week you'll have 2 body awareness experiments so that you master the concepts by doing. Our courses are highly experiential, and we will meet as a group to discuss the results of those body awareness experiments. And actually that represents also published research that we do. So as you go through those body awareness experiments, we publish the results for the public. And so throughout the course, you will be a part of the growth of the Ayurveda profession. We are a research school. We publish thousands of articles. We are doing Ayurveda, not just teaching it constantly. Doing it, teaching it, and developing it as a profession. As part of the fundamentals course, you will have over 95 client encounters. So that's you will have a broad experience with many different kinds of clients. You'll get all the forms and legal parameters. You'll learn how to run a highly polished clinic, how to promote your practice, and all kinds of special topics like pregnancy, postpartum, sense therapy, Marma points, etc. Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion Nutrition course. This includes 60 pre-recorded presentations, including 30 GI disorders to teach all major digestive disorder patterns, right? So in Ayurveda, we look at the nature of the imbalance. And so these 60 pre-recorded presentations with 30 on specific gastrointestinal disorders give us the opportunity to present all the major patterns of imbalance in the digestive tract from the Ayurvedic point of view. The course has 90 live classes. And so each week will also include a case study. So we'll review the GI disorder, the case study, and supplemental concepts and the food and body awareness experiments each week. As part of the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition course, you'll develop a therapeutic protocol for a particular disorder. And that is going to be a challenging exercise where you will go out and do research and really develop your expertise in a particular digestive disorder. So you're going to put together a whole protocol. And that protocol, in the after you graduate, you will use that to both demonstrate and demonstrate your expertise and also produce high quality outcomes in that particular area. In other words, you might do a therapeutic protocol or write up on colon cancer from the Ayurvedic point of view so that you have in-depth knowledge on that particular disorder, even beyond the teaching of the course. The Ayurveda Herbalist course. The first thing I want to say about an herbalist course is that it's a great challenge because there are so many herbs. And here's what, and you've probably experienced this already if you've done any studying of herbs, right? You spend an afternoon or an hour or so even reading up on a particular herb, and you're looking at an herb textbook, and it's a real wonderful write-up on an herb like shatavari, for example, a woman's health herb, helpful to supply estrogen and even modulate estrogen, ojas building, cooling, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial, especially anti-candida. And you get to the bottom of the page about shatavari, and you feel like you've got it all, right? And then you turn the page, and the next page you see ashwagandha, and you read about how it's a warming herb that, even though it's ojas building, it's still kapha pacifying and anti-tumor, and it helps modulate stress and calm the person, can help you sleep, but it's also a bone and muscle tonic. And you get to the end of the page about ashwagandha, and you're like, now I know ashwagandha, but you can't remember anything about shatavari because it was like a page ago, right? And you just go through herbs and you understand each herb while you're looking at it, but you don't quite remember it when you after you finish the next herb. That's the challenge of an herb course. And so in this course, we take a two-prong approach. We study herbs top down and bottom up. We go herb by herb, that's bottom up. And then we go top down, organ system by organ system. So we review all the treatment strategies of the herbal treatment strategies for the circulatory system. And then at the same time, we might be going page by page, learning about Arjuna, a heart tonic, or cloves and a strong vasodilator, or holy basil, another strong vasodilator, or turmeric, a blood thinner. And we'll go through all of the major herbs for the cardiovascular system in the bottom up way and in the top down way, so that we have perspective and the root and the trunk of the tree and the leaves as well. And that seems to help students understand the whole picture better. So as I mentioned already, in the curriculum of the Ayurveda herbalist course, jumping to the Joyful Belly page here, you can see that we'll go through each organ system, but we'll go through individual herbs and formulas for that matter. You'll do medicine making in that course, from poultices to skin rubs, medical oils, tinctures, infusions, etc., salves. We'll be doing herbal strategies and perspectives from both Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, and Western herbalism. We'll do some phytochemistry, but we're not going to have a deep focus on biochemistry in that course. Not to say that it's not important. We will study herbal actions and you will get basic phytochemistry, but not a very in-depth discussion of phytochemistry. And you will be eating or drinking or sampling many of the Ayurvedic herbs that we will be reviewing in the course, so that you have, again, a strong experiential component. You'll be doing botanical field work, going out into the woods, finding herbs and sitting with them. And you'll be doing 33 live in-class consults and 18 private clinical consultations. You'll get legal considerations and laws, herb-drug interactions, and contraindications, etc. Okay? The Poncha Karma Cleanse course includes all aspects of Poncha Karma and an in-depth study of classical ancient texts. I see that Melanie's saying she has to go. Melanie, I will post this recording tomorrow, so you won't miss anything if you want to continue to follow up, Melanie, on that. And if you want to also reach out to Simranjeet, she can answer any other questions that you have. Thank you for coming. And yeah, again, reach out if you have any other questions. We're happy to help. Okay, we'll go through the classical ancient texts in the Poncha Karma Cleanse course, where we will do an in-depth study of all major diseases in Charaka. You'll go over all basic spa therapies, Marma points, nutraceuticals, Western medical testing, and clinical encounters. And we're about 5 minutes from the end here. So if anyone else has to go, we'll be wrapping up soon. All right. So if you miss the time for a live coaching call, or you live in a different time zone, not a problem. All classes are recorded for those who miss or can't attend a live lecture. Just want you to know that. We've talked about prerequisites already. We've talked about this. Time commitment. The fundamentals course, about 12 hours a week on average per student. And I'm going to say that that goes down if you have knowledge of anatomy and physiology. The digestion course, about 8 to 12 a week. The herb course, also 12 hours a week. The Poncha Karma course, 5 hours a week. That's as I said before, that course is fewer hours per week, but over 2 years. All right. A&P is built into all of the courses, naturally and always. And it's, but we don't really quiz on anatomy and physiology so directly. So if you have A&P, you're not going to be like redoing anatomy and physiology, but but it is there built into the course for those who don't have it. It's really important that you visualize anatomy and physiology while you're learning medicine. So the Ayurveda concepts come to life because you're imagining them in your head. And that we'll talk more about that when the course starts. But I think that if you and this is why we tell our students also, if you know you're going to take the course, register now. The pre-course includes the anatomy and physiology component, as well as exercises and a reading plan that you can do so that you start the course already understanding all of the Ayurveda basic concepts. And then the course, when you take the course, when you finally get to the course in August, you will learn the material at a much more in-depth level. Our students who start now and do the pre-course just always learn at a deeper level. Remember, this is the whole body. It's fast, right? The time commitment for the pre-course, yeah, that's going to be more like there's no real time commitment. It's go as fast as you want. But if you spend 5 hours a week on the pre-course between now and then, you're not gonna lose any time because you just spend 5 hours less in the course per week. So you're just gonna get all that time back. And also you will just be so much more confident and ahead of everyone that you'll be reading between the lines. I mean, you could take this course 3 times and each time you would learn more. So if you do the pre-course, you're going to just be learning at level 2 instead of level 1. Highly recommend it for everybody. All right. The advantage of an online course is that when you're listening to those pre-recorded presentations, you do it when your brain is at its best. My wife, she is, I say 11 a.m., 11 p.m. My wife is like, her brain is fresh at like 11 p.m. My brain's fresh at 5 a.m. I come home from work and she's like ready to talk, but I'm like ready to talk at 5 a.m., So it's, it's like that. When your brain is fresh, that's when you're going to study. I think that's a great thing. We know, again, life happens even when you're a student. We've had students that had to leave for a month because of a death in their family, and they had to help wrap up their parents' estate. We've had students that had to, leave because of a project at work and for a month, or a pregnancy, a new baby, whatever it is. Life happens to our students even while they're students. And especially, I think, to our students because of the group that they are. And so you don't feel like you have to like drop out of the course or anything like that. When that happens, we will work with you and get you across that finish line. Again, it's not you're not the exception when that happens. That is who we're targeting, those people who are busy, passionate, active in their lives, right? Assignments and tests are pass-fail for a non-competitive and supportive environment. We do have a midterm and a final, because why? Because every single client is a midterm or a final. When you meet a client, you're going to have all the information at your fingertips right then and there. That's what meeting a client is. You have to have all the information ready. Well, that's what a midterm or final is. Every client is a midterm or a final, but we have a midterm and final in the course. Great. We talked about this. Timeline. The most of the courses start the last week of August, and the digestion course starts second week of October. Calls are generally attended by 20 to 30 students. All of our students get to know each other and are a community of support. Expect a high level of interaction. In fact, you'll be assessing your fellow students on a near weekly basis throughout the course. Yeah, so people will know you in the course. Here's our tuition. The 2-year program is $7,000. That's $3,500 a year, which is really low for the level of education you're getting. I mean, just think about that. Again, we have monthly payment plans. It's $250 a month, less than your grocery bill. People sometimes look at $7,000 and they're thinking to themselves, "Oh, that's a lot of money." But I would say this: think about the time. You're going to be spending more time than money on this course. So, the question is like, is this your calling? Do you love it? And that's the thing. It's like, how much do you want to invest for feeling great, feeling healthy and well in your life, and having this vision to share with your family, your community, and professionally? That is, that's the value proposition. And for $7,000, to me, that's a really great investment. And that will just pay for itself 10 times over with lower lower medical bills, in addition to everything else it offers. All right. The digestion course and the herb course is $4,499, and the 2-year Poncha Karma $5,999. All right. Good. We have monthly payment plans available. We know it's a big decision, time-wise, finance-wise. So our students, we always ask them when, and Simranjeet will probably ask you this, is just checking in with you. Do you have time for the course? What's your finances? Who's supporting you? Is your spouse supporting you? Is your boss at work supporting you? Or are you independent? And also career planning. What's your vision? And so she will walk you through some of those and give you solutions. We have worked with thousands of students, and we know how to field some of those questions that you might have, and how other students have worked with those issues and dealt with them and made it happen. So Simranjeet can help you with that. And there are some times where we say to where I've talked through a student who's doing career planning, and we got to the end and it found out that really what they wanted to do was be a Montessori educator. And we're like, okay, so go do a Montessori education course, right? Simranjeet's truly here to help you and find what's best for your path in Ayurveda or otherwise or beyond, right? So there's her number, and you can give her a call. All right. So how do you want more information? You can jump to the school tab, the Study Ayurveda tab on the Joyful Belly website. You can see all of our courses, and you can see all the information about our courses, school FAQ, how to choose an Ayurveda school, legal status of Ayurveda, careers in Ayurveda, all that, meet our teachers, etc. Check that out. And that's also where you register. When you're ready to register, go to the Ayurveda Health Counselor link, click on register now for $250 a month. And then you'll immediately get access to the pre-course materials and everything. So, and then our student support will reach out to you and make sure that everything else is, is set up properly for you. All right. For those who have attended today's course, go and would like to register, go to the website and register. In the next 3 days, we will give you a $950 scholarship off of tuition to do that. And you'll be registered early, already starting your Ayurveda reading and checking out anatomy and physiology for the course, and doing some of the actual presentations and lectures from the course, so that you can grow between now and August, and then jump in and be an amazing Ayurveda clinician. The discount, when you register, Dr. Chanel is asking about the discount coming in later or already taken into account. When you register with a monthly payment plan, you can also register, by the way, with a $600 deposit and then pay off the remaining balance before class starts and get a $250 discount on tuition. You can do that as well. But if you opt into the monthly payment plan, then what we will do is we will set your total tuition for that plan to be $950 less, and that's the scholarship. So the discount Dr. Chanel, is just basically that you make fewer payments. Yes. The pre-course piece, is that just early access to the course or something separate? It is early access to certain key concepts, components, and reading that is helpful for you to basically understand the basics before day one, so that you then learn at that deeper level. All right, good. Good. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming today. Before we go to questions, I want to thank you. It's not just that disease is contagious, but health is also contagious. When people see that you are paying attention, that you are understanding your body and naturally choosing those things that are supportive, your health will start to radiate and radiate outward, and other people will be drawn to that. And just by healing yourself and by your interest, you will be bringing others to a greater quality of life and health also. It's a wonderful thing. So I want to thank all of you for your interest in health and also for your interest in Joyful Belly. It is a privilege that every year we get to teach Ayurveda, and that privilege is given to us by you. And so that is very, I'm in deep appreciation for everyone who's here today, and thank you. And with that, I will take any questions that anybody has. Feel free to unmute your mic if you want to talk and ask the question at this point. Okay, JB says, does the 2-year course include any coverage of digestion and herbs? Absolutely. So the digestion is a key part of Ayurveda. And so the 2-year course absolutely includes a in-depth discussion of Agni, digestion, and all the Ayurveda nutrition, because that's just important to all of Ayurveda. The digestion specialty course goes far beyond all of that to specific digestive pathology and diseases. Beyond what I would say is, the most common digestive imbalances of low Agni, acid reflux, etc. The digestive course sort of goes at the master level, and the Ayurveda fundamentals course is we're learning the entire body, right? So in that course, so we in the Ayurveda fundamentals course, you're getting the lungs, the respiratory tract, the circulatory system, the digestive tract, the urinary tract, all the parts of the body, and so what you get in broad breadth of knowledge in the fundamentals course, you get depth, increased depth in the digestion course, naturally. So that would be the difference between the two. But yes, you will get all of the important digestive imbalances that are just a part of everyone's Ayurvedic practice. All right, one person said, I'm concerned about learning Sanskrit. Are any resources provided or suggested? So, Dr. Chanel, we don't focus strongly on learning Sanskrit. So we give you the Sanskrit, and you can see this on the Joyful Belly website, is that it's not that we're trying to create a language barrier to people learning Ayurveda. And Sanskrit, saying it in Sanskrit doesn't increase Ayurveda's power in any way. Ayurveda is actually, when Ayurveda was written, Sanskrit was just the language that your dad or your kids spoke, right? And I think Ayurveda is meant to be a grassroots sort of public health system. And so we don't, instead of presenting a strong Sanskrit based program, our interest is presenting something that is easily communicated to the public. And so we don't have a strong focus on learning Sanskrit in the course. Now, when you get to the Poncha Karma course and we're studying the disease chapters in Charaka, there will be more Sanskrit. But by that time, you have several years of understanding all the basic Ayurveda concepts, and you will know a ton of Sanskrit words, because again, we do include them, but that's not the focus. So all this to say, Dr. Chanel, is that I think that there's really, I wouldn't worry about Sanskrit at all in the course. All right, Nicolene asks, where, with whom did you study Ayurveda, and did you design the curriculum? Okay, great. Two great questions. So first, I studied Ayurveda at the Ayurvedic Institute when Dr. Lad was the main teacher there. And that was about 16 years ago now, before I started Joyful Belly. And I also studied Ayurveda overseas in India with Dr. Marta. And I also have studied Ayurveda for the next 15 years with all of the teachers in our programs. And in addition to tons of personal research. And so that's my background in Ayurveda. Also, did I design the curriculum? No, I didn't design the curriculum. It's not just curriculum's not out of my head. This is the general curriculum that Ayurveda schools follow as the foundation of our curriculum, and then additional things that I think are essential to the clinical, the actual clinical practice. So one thing which I said before is that a lot of schools will focus on Ayurveda in a sort of mystical way, and I think that, mysticism can create some inaccessibility, and it also obfuscates practical clinical issues and concerns. And you can see this if you read Ayurveda textbooks and you're like, okay, I understand those concepts, and those concepts are really poetic and beautiful, but then how do I use that with a client? And so our curriculum, I would say, is a standard curriculum to and its foundation, but we go beyond that. So in other words, you will get all the standards of that are followed by the general Ayurveda community, plus a whole lot more. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? And Dr. Chanel, about Sanskrit, yes, I can provide additional resources if you want to learn Sanskrit. I'm a language person, so myself, like just in terms of personal interests, as I said, I studied Bengali for 10 years. I lived there. I spoke Bengali fluently. I probably still can, although I'm a little rusty. And the Ayurveda Sanskrit was just very easy for me to learn because of that. I had prior knowledge of Devanagari um, and of modern language related to Sanskrit. And so, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I can go there with you and recommend some, resources for that. Just let me know. What is the size of our student body? Generally, we have a total of about 200 students a year in our programs. And the total number of graduates from our school, I've not tried to compute that. So we have a substantial student body split up over the courses. Generally, in the fundamentals course, you'll have about 80 students in that course alone, and on each coaching call, generally will be attended by about 30 students on each coaching call. How does alumni participate or engage with the school when they're done? We have an alumni group where our students are very active, and they have some of them will set up monthly calls where they will review case studies with each other, and an active, ongoing alumni community that you can use to ask questions, etc. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Chanel, on the certification, we will give you a certificate of completion. And you can just rely on that, and you don't need to do anything more. But you can also go to these other associations like APNA, AADP, AABC, and get get your certification from them. I think APNA will ask you to pass a board exam, but I don't think you'll have any trouble doing that if you can pass our course, which most of our students do. Pass it. You will certainly pass their exam. Chopra's Ayurvedic Health Practitioner Certification. And if so, would you consider it comparable to your fundamentals course? So one could start learning directly with the digestion course. So first of all, the prerequisites for the digestion course is that you have some prior training in health, So yes, you would be eligible to take that course if you've taken a certification elsewhere. Yeah. Am I particularly familiar with Chopra's course on that? I don't know the level of training in that specific certification that they offer. Anne asks, although I realize one can watch the recorded sessions, I'm interested in when the actual sessions will be meeting. And if you could specify which course, Simmergy can get that information for you. What credentials do we look for in our teachers? Well, we look that they have to see that they have an active clinical practice. I look to see that they have been studying Ayurveda for a long time. I look to see whether they have a calling to be a teacher, and it kind of takes one to know one. I have a calling to teach. I love teaching. I've always taught my whole life. And sometimes you meet with a teacher and they're like, they want to teach because they want people to think they're an expert. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not really wanting to teach. That's just wanting people to think you're amazing. That's different than wanting to be a teacher. So I look for people who have a calling to teach. And then I interview our teachers on their teaching skills, their pedagogy skills. Do they know what active learning methods are? Are they able to teach to multiple intelligences, right? Are they multiple intelligence types? What is their, I asked them to send me a sample. I'm looking for good communicators, and I don't give a hoot whether the person is well known or not. That is one credential I do not care about, right? Like, you are not going to go to our course and we're going to be like, oh, here's some Ayurveda celebrity teachers that, that are really not focused on Joyful Belly students, but because you've heard of them, you think we're awesome. That you will not find at Joyful Belly. we hire teachers on their basis of their ability to teach and their availability to pay attention to our students, and that they're passionate about your clinical skills, and that they actually know Ayurveda, not that they're charming. Like, we're being a great communicator and having, great marketing are two very different things. So I'm not looking for the charming teacher either. I don't know. Maybe that's too much information. Just telling you what I look for. I was curious about recommending herbs or suggested or supplements to clients. Do you have an affiliation within a company for that? No, we use various suppliers depending upon the herb and the type of medicine. Yeah. Mountain Rose is a great supplier for Western herbs, although their shipping takes forever. So I don't use them for clients, but if I'm ordering something in bulk, I think they offer a pretty high quality product if you're willing to wait a month for it. So, but yeah, I use various suppliers. Dr. Chanel, I'm interested in the fundamentals live sessions. I understand the time zones will vary. What time zone are you in? I can't remember what state you said you were from earlier. You're Eastern. Okay, yeah. So you should be able to attend them. There will be two that are around mid-afternoon, around lunchtime, and one that will be around 7 o'clock in the evening. I don't know which days for that particular course, but that's the general plan. So if you could take a lunch break and listen to it, I don't know how flexible your workday schedule is, but that might affect it. But as far as no, none of them will be at 4 in the morning for you. It turns out that an afternoon course and an evening course dovetailed pretty much hits all time zones. The late night course is usually accessible to Pacific Rim, Hawaii, and the noontime course is accessible to Europe and the Middle East. So it ends up working out. Any other questions? All right, good. Great questions, everybody. This has been a great group. Really awesome. I look forward to seeing you in class. I hope I get to be your teacher. And please reach out with any questions that you might have. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.